Buzzy Haydel is a part of the LSU Sports Radio Network. He came to fame by blasting the first or the last home run in the old Alec Box Stadium. Right now, it feels like that's the last home run LSU hit.
Very exciting.
Buzz, LSU offense, your cause of concern. Where's the concern meter at? You freaking out?
So, yeah, it's funny. I mean, I've had a few conversations with different people. I'm not Here's the thing. There's a concern, a big concern, because you've got 4 or 5 guys that pretty much automatic out. So there's a concern. I'm not ready to say that this team can't win or won't do the things that everybody wants LSU to do from a baseball standpoint and make it to a regional and, win 17, 18 games in the SEC. I'm not ready to say that they won't do that, but I do think this offense will struggle a lot of the year just because of the number of young guys that are in the lineup that just don't have the experience, and they're in a hole already. And once you get in the hole early, it's just really tough to come out of it. And so I'm concerned about the offense. I'm still not ready to hit the panic button on the season's loss because of a couple tough losses in Houston to 2 pretty good teams in Baylor and Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, and they're so good on the mounds, right? Like they can't be that far away.
Defensively, they're pretty good. Nine hits last night, Buzz. They had 4 for extra bases. They had a home run from K. Doty. Take me back to when you get to campus. What was the period of time that you needed to get used to college pitching coming from high school and summer league ball?
Well, it's funny you ask that because when I got to LSU, the coach there was Smoke Laval. It wasn't Coach Maneri at the time. Coach Maneri had got the job the second year I was there, so my sophomore season. But my freshman year, Smoke Laval used to always say, like, when are you not a freshman, guys? Like, when is it, you're a freshman for the first year, but when are you not a freshman? Like, when are you going to make the jump? You don't have to wait till your, sophomore year to make the jump. And so it's a tough question because you don't see this quality of pitching for this long. I mean, in high school and summer ball, you'll see a guy every now and then, but you hope the fall is enough time to get acclimated, but it really isn't. And that's what's weird about this offense is because they hit well at times, like even a Drew Bianco. They talked about how well he hit during the fall. Well, who was he hitting off of? He was hitting off LSU pitchers who are some of the best in the SEC right now. So, when the lights turn on to make that jump, guys can do it. And look, I tell people this all the time. When I'm critical of LSU, it's trust me, I've been there. I know how hard it is to hit, and it was tough. And there was times where I looked great in BP, and they put me in the game, and I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat. So I mean, it's tough, and I understand it's tough. But the good ones and the guys that can start and play, and the All-Americans are the ones that can flip it over into the game and get it done. But I guess to answer your question, there's no real timetable. I mean, it's just some guys figure it out quicker than others. Beloso figured it out last year early and had a great freshman year, but Blair Barbier back in the day figured it out as a freshman, had a great freshman year. Of course, the great Todd Walker, but there's not a ton of them you can count in the history of the last 30 years of LSU baseball that just dominate as a freshman. It's really hard to do.
Buzzy, if you were in a bit of a slump, like how do you get out of that? If you're one of these young cats, you got everything kind of swirling around you, like you said, you're making this jump, you got so much pressure on you. How would you look to get things back on track?
I think Mike Schmidt, or one of the great Hall of Famers, said a bucket of fried chicken and a 12-pack of Miller Lights, which every now and then.
Why wasn't I better at baseball?
The guys that are of age maybe can take it, partake in that that theory, but the guys underage, I don't know what they're going to do. No, I mean, you just got to keep working. And I know, look, I read the article this morning in the Advocate. I think they, after the Houston series on Monday, it was a, quote unquote voluntary practice, which is not voluntary. You better be there. But yeah. I mean, they really worked on hitting the ball the other way and cutting down the swing. And I'll tell you, last night I saw that from I mentioned it in the broadcast. I said, it looked like Cranford did it, Sal Garza did it. When they got to 2 strikes, they really cut down on their swing and looked the opposite field. And you saw them get a few base hits the other way, and they got 9 total. And so you just got to keep working, T-Bob. I mean, you know how it is being an athlete. Sometimes when you're struggling, you just got to keep getting after it, keep working hard, and it'll eventually click. I mean, there's a reason these guys are at LSU. If you look at the recruiting classes, I mean, they were ranked. Hell, I think one of them was ranked number 1, and they're always top 5 in the country. So they've got the players. But that's the difference. Again, I'll say this: the LSU factor is a real thing. It's hard to play at LSU. There's a lot of players that come here and then they transfer out because they can't quote unquote play here. But then you see them dominating somewhere else. I mean, they got the kid at Auburn right now, and I hadn't checked his stats lately, but Rankin Woolley.
Yeah.
I don't know if that name.
Oh wow, yeah, I remember Rankin Woolley.
But he was at LSU a few years, and again, I hadn't checked his stats lately, but I feel like the first 6 games he was hitting like over 400. I mean, he was incredible. But again, it's a different atmosphere at Auburn. Still hard to play, but it's just not LSU. The LSU thing, the pressure, it's tough here.
And so you mentioned all the talent they have. We're talking to Buzzy Haydel here on Off the Bench, one of our 500.3, 94.7 ESPN. So it's not translated at the plate, but it is translating on the mound. They have been fantastic. Now, earlier I said I feel like they're never that far away because of how good they've been on the mound. Like, how do you feel? What's your reaction when I say that?
Yeah, it's the old the old statement, right? Pitching and defense wins championships, and in football, it's defense wins championships, right? I mean, it's the same thing. So they're never going to be out of games, and you saw that this weekend. I mean, it's not like they're getting blown out of games.
Yeah.
That's my thing with the whole like this team's got problems, and they're not the LSU team of the past and all this. My thing is, a better bullpen outing from a couple guys on Saturday, and they win that game.
Yep.
And I know that's part of the game. You got to do it. And then our guy hit their team as well on Sunday, and they just got the big hit. I mean, it's literally, and Paul Maneri says this all the time, it comes down to really your season is made by what do you do in one-run games or close games, I should say. And they're going to be in every game. That's why, and the pitching staff is so good, especially the starting pitching, that I'm not ready to write this team off yet because the offense, they don't have to be the 97 Tigers. They don't have to be, the 2009 Tigers. They don't have to hit anywhere near 300 as a team. I mean, hit 265, 270, and score 4. I mean, I think 5 is the magic number for them, runs a game, and I think they can win a ton of games. But, I mean, even you score 4 runs, you got a chance to win when you got Cole Henry, Jaden Hill, the way Marceau's been throwing. I mean, hell, if Labus does what he does on Sunday, he might be the best Sunday starter in the country, other than Acker if he stays in the Sunday role.
Right.
But that's why again, and I sound like a broken record, but this team is going to be in the games, and if they can figure out how to win the close games, mature in that aspect of baseball, they're going to do everything they need to do, and they're going to do everything the fans want them to do this year.
Rankin Wooley's hitting 396 for Auburn right now.
Damn.
How many homers, Jordy?
He's got 2 home runs.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we would love that right now, wouldn't we?
Right. How good is the pitching staff?
Yeah, it's as good. I'll say this: it's not as deep as I thought it was going to be. From a 1 to 8, they've just got 8 dominant guys. But I'll tell you this: they've got 4 or 5 that what you're going to get when you give them the ball every time. I'd like to see a few more guys develop out of the bullpen, Jordy. But the starting pitching is what everyone always talks about, right? If you got 3 guys on the weekend, you always hear this too, that can keep you in the ball game. Keep it close and give your team a chance. Everyone hears that in baseball as well. Give your team a chance. I mean, they're going to do that every weekend, in my opinion. And so it's electric. I mean, to see Jaden Hill come in. I mean, when's the last time we had a guy throwing 98 miles an hour with a wipeout slider? I mean, that's just feels like you're watching a big league game when that guy comes in.
Awesome.
Really Cole Henry as well, throwing the ball at 95, 96 miles an hour. So it's really good. I'd like to see him cut down on some of the walks, which I think they're doing a better job of that. There's an emphasis on that. But other than that, I mean, other than a few, at times, untimely walks, it's as dominant as you can get and as good as I've seen, in the last few years.
LSU plays Grambling tonight after taking care of Southeastern on Tuesday for the midweek games. Buzzy Haydel, former Tiger and a part of the LSU Sports Radio Network, with some knowledge here on this Wednesday. Thank you as always, man.
All right, boys. Thank you.